live in Western Oregon. This is NBC 16 News at 6:30.
North Bend police are investigating after a cyberbullying incident led to a weapons threat. Thanks for joining us for NBC 16 at 6:30. I'm Jody Reynosa. Police say officers were called to North Bend High School this morning after a teacher notified them of an online discussion among students regarding someone being cyberbullied. One North Bend student claimed to know the bully, to which a 14-year-old male student responded, "I'll bring the guns." No weapons were found, but the student admits to writing the message, however, never intending to bring firearms.
Parents are really encouraged to monitor those online conversations, and when there are threats that are made, we encourage anyone to report those threats to authorities as soon as they see them so that action can be taken immediately.
The case will be reviewed by the Coos County District Attorney's Office. Police are investigating after a false threat was made about a possible school shooting at Jolene Middle School in Roseburg. The Roseburg Police Department got a report of a woman and two men with a handgun and assault rifles who threatened to, quote, shoot up the school today. Police found out it was a false report. School officials at Jolene Middle School and Geneva Academy took security measures to keep students safe. An investigation is ongoing. As we continue to learn more, we will update you both on air and online. New at 6:30, states with the highest youth suicide rates also have higher gun ownership. That is according to a new study from Boston University. Researchers studied data from the CDC on suicides of youth ages 10 to 19 years old. In the states with the highest suicide rates, over half of the households owned guns. And in the states with the lowest rates, gun ownership was 20%. The state with the highest rate of suicide was Alaska, and the lowest was New Jersey. Bethel School District is taking steps to prevent suicide among young people. National trainers were on hand today to train some 80 Bethel middle and high school staff in a program called Sources of Strength. The SOS program uses friends and peers in the prevention of suicide. 40 selected Bethel high school students will also be trained as empowering peer leaders.
It is suicide prevention, but it's also building strength around any of the hard things that our kids are facing, and we know that they're facing a lot. So this is a program that really talks about what are your strengths, what helps you become resilient, and talks about hope and help and strength.
A teacher and SOS trainer explains how the program empowers students.
Helping them recognize what is it in your life that helps you. Where do you find strength when hard times come, that you already have strength within you? When those hard times come, when those difficulties hit you, you have a base to go back to, you have something to draw on so you can get through the crisis.
The Bethel School District is set to launch the Source to Strength program tomorrow. The oldest school in the South Lane School District will be shutting its doors for good this summer. The South Lane School Board voted to close the school after reviewing the Latham School Report and hearing any concerns. This comes after the school report found much needed repair work totaling to about $750,000. The school also says student enrollment is declining, most likely due to newer schools being built in the area. Plus, programs and funding have become difficult at the school due to size.
Those other schools are opening up their schools so that families and kids can visit their children can visit those schools and get an opportunity to see what they have to offer. So just making sure we're keeping things the way they've been all these years.
The school says all students and teachers can move to new schools within the district. You can find a deeper look into the school's long history and which upgrades would have been needed on our website at NBC16.com. Math and science can sometimes be intimidating, but students at the Geneva Academy in Roseburg are putting their skills to the test. NBC 16's Gabby Arenda has more.
A catapult isn't something you would usually find in a school parking lot. But this project, among many others, was presented in front of a panel of judges at Geneva Academy's biannual science fair.
Not only can I operate it myself, but I also know how it operates and how it works, and that really brings me a lot of pleasure.
Students could pick a standard science fair project, a Mythbusters approach, or how to improve something that sparks their interest. School officials say it's important they're passionate about the project.
So we don't want students to write themselves out of science. We want them to be curious and to explore different things.
The school had outside judges with a background in science so students could practice their presentation skills.
The students tend to be very nervous at first, but the judges have been able to put them at ease so that you can hear a little bit more about what they were thinking and why.
As for Boyce, he doesn't mind putting himself or his catapult in the hot seat.
It wasn't that nerve-wracking. The only thing that I had a problem with was trying to get all the words out in the correct way.
School officials hope this experience inspires students to explore the world around them. Covering Douglas County for you, I'm Gabby Arenda.
On to a first look at weather. NBC 16's chief meteorologist Carmen Rose joins us now on the Weather Center. I think you should be on one of those science panels as well, Carmen. Tell us a little bit more about the weather with this rain and, the lunar eclipse just around the corner. What can we expect?
Well, you know what? We're going to focus on the immediate forecast right now. We will get into the lunar eclipse in just a minute here, but right now we are focusing on more of that snow moving in over the passes. In fact, you can see that snow through our ODOT cams, the recent observations there over Willamette Pass as well as Santiam Junction. Now that rain transitioning into snow. McKenzie Bridge just going to be dealing with a little bit more of that rain as we head overnight. And satellite radar will show you these light showers continuing to build in off the coast and farther inland. We're even seeing some lightning here closer to North Bend as well as Gold Beach, and we'll see and hear a few more rumbles of thunder as we progress through the next couple of hours. Forecast lows for us, not all that low. We're going to be into those low 40s for Eugene, upper 30s possible for Cottage Grove, and mid to upper 40s along the coast with some of that rain starting to taper off. We will see a little bit more of that snow though over 4,000 feet for Willamette Pass as well as Santiam Pass and Santiam and Junctions. That starts to transition, and then more rain, not just for McKenzie Bridge but also for us. I'll tell you more about that coming up. Jody?
All right, thanks so much, Carmen. Police have increased patrols on Highway 99 in Junction City. They will be looking for people driving dangerously, but especially those who are texting, speeding, or making illegal lane changes. Local police are being assisted by Oregon State Police, the Lynn County Sheriff's Department, Eugene Police, and University of Oregon Police. Junction City Chief of Police Bob Morris says this stretch of road has been deadly.
From the very end of March, basically the first day of April through the end of December, we've had 7 fatalities that have occurred on Highway 99 within the city limits of Junction City.
Officers will be out enforcing traffic laws 24 hours a day. Chief Morris says they're already seeing a difference.
What we have seen through this effort is the speeds dramatically slow. What we were seeing south of First Street, average speed was running somewhere between 67 and 72. Those average speeds now have dropped to about 56 to 57.
Chief Morris says the next step to ensure safety on Highway 99 would be infrastructure changes such as adding guardrails or rumble strips. It's one of the two things you can count on in life, death and taxes, but a panel of former state lawmakers is not sure how to fix Oregon's tax system. It was the combined Springfield and Eugene City Club meeting that reached agreement on one point only. Oregon's system for raising tax revenue needs a change. Former state House members Phil Barnhart, Vicki Berger, and former House Speaker Dave Hunt laid out the problem. Oregon voters approved property tax control measures in the 1990s. Lawmakers said that put pressure on state income taxes to fill the gap. Plus, corporate tax rates have dropped through the years. But where's the solution?
Did I mention that Oregonians do not want a sales tax? I just want to make sure you heard that, because it doesn't matter how you ask the question.
I didn't see a lot of solutions other than to focus on corporations rather than on individuals.
Dave Hunt told the clubs that the legislature must focus on tax reform ideas that have widespread support among the voters, because any reform plan is going to wind up on the ballot anyway. The city of Coos Bay is hoping to bring more tourists to the area. To help do that, the city is raising the lodging tax for the first time in more than 20 years. NBC 16 Lauren Negretti reports.
For those who promote the Bay Area as a great place to visit, an increase in the lodging tax will help them expand that effort. The Visitor and Convention Bureau will soon rake in more money from visitors to the coast who stay in hotels, RV parks, bed and breakfasts, and vacation rentals.
But it will significantly impact the budget that we have to help promote our area and get more visitors to come and see all the amazing things that we have to offer here.
A $300,000 budget increase for advertising that will help the South Coast compete with areas that have higher budgets. Longlanay hopes to reach Portland and parts of California. The lodging tax will go to 9.5%, with the hotels keeping a portion of the revenue.
They keep 5% of that, which is 5 cents on the dollar of what they collect.
Not just itty bitty inn, but every hotel and restaurant, anybody who's serving in tourism and hospitality stands to benefit from the boost.
The Visitor and Convention Bureau gets 70% and the city gets 30%.
The lodging tax increase will take effect in April. In Coos County, I'm Lauren Negretti reporting.
The North Bend City Council will vote on an increase in the lodging tax next week. Coming up on NBC 16 at 6:30, the number of government workers seeking unemployment doubled in the second week of the shutdown. Plus, the National Do Not Call Registry is also down due to the shutdown. Details after the break. And if you see breaking news, give us a call at 541-393-KMTR 5687 or send an email to newsdesk@kmtr.com.
NBC 16 News at 6:30.
Thousands of furloughed federal workers are seeking unemployment benefits. According to the U.S. Labor Department, more than 10,000 government employees sought jobless benefits in the first 2 weeks of the government shutdown. That's double the number of federal workers who applied for aid in the previous week. However, the numbers are reported with a 1-week lag, and those numbers are projected to be sharply higher by now. Under normal circumstances, fewer than 1,000 federal workers apply for benefits each week. There's also a surge in the number of furloughed workers tapping into their retirement accounts. Data from a federal agency shows a 34% jump in the number of hardship withdrawals. Americans who may not be federal employees are also feeling effects of the shutdown. Phones around the country are ringing more because of robocalls, and the partial government shutdown may be making the problem worse. The Federal Trade Commission and the Federal Communications Commission are part of the shutdown, so there's nobody in Washington to administer the country's anti-robocalls rules, and there's no one to warn Americans about possible scams that involve automated calls. To make matters worse, if you want to add your phone number to the do not call list or check to make sure your number is on the list, you're out of luck. That's part of the shutdown too. Amazon Prime is in its prime. The subscription service that offers perks like free 2-day shipping has passed 100 million subscribers in the U.S. alone. That's up from 90 million a year ago. Consumer intelligence research partners shared the news in a study published Thursday. Amazon has not yet commented on the numbers. Amazon Prime costs $119 a year or $13 a month. Along with that free 2-day shipping, members get reduced rates on overnight shipping, access to a variety of digital content through Amazon's Prime Video, Prime Music, and audiobooks in Audible. Turning to weather now, NBC 16's chief meteorologist Carmen Rose is standing by for a look at what's coming up in your full forecast. Hey, Carmen.
Hey, Jody. Well, we are tracking more rain and more wind. I'll tell you how it's going to impact your weekend and lunar eclipse forecast coming up.
With Chief Meteorologist Carmen Rose.
Good evening. We've been dealing with some windy as well as rough seas along the coast. This is a photo from one of our viewers at Port Orford from today. Notice those waves really breaking. We can expect another round of those very high waves, breakers anywhere from 20 to even 30 feet through the rest of the day, lowering a little bit as we head into tomorrow. So we do have a high surf warning in effect until 5 a.m. That will be downgraded into an advisory as those waves start to lower heading into later tomorrow. Right now, seeing a few lingering drops on our camera as we take a live look through our NBC 16 cam over Oakway Center and really looking over Coburg Road as well as Oakway Road, where we're seeing plenty of traffic. Temperatures into those mid to upper 40s, and we're still getting some breezy conditions closer to 20 miles per hour out of the south, and a few lightning strikes actually just closer to Gold Beach into southwestern Oregon off the coast there. We'll see a few more of these showers the rest of the night, get a lull overnight, and then we're tracking this system off into the Pacific. This is what's going to help bring a warm front as we head into the first part of the weekend, and then a cold front. So we will still see more of this rain and wind through tomorrow, and your Futurecast will show you widespread showers developing later in the morning. We are expecting anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of new snowfall over 4,000 feet, so this will include the passes, but that snow is going to start to transition into rain as we head later in the afternoon for tomorrow as well as the evening, and rain is going to pick up in intensity, so noticing a lot more darker orange and yellow. Easily could get 3/4 of an inch of new rainfall here in Eugene and across the Willamette Valley, with up to an inch along the coast, and we'll continue to see rain, although we do get a nice little break late Friday night into Saturday morning. But notice how our models are picking up more of this rain as that warm front starts to lift through the region, and more rain once again will continue as we head into Saturday evening. Now, our forecast lows not going to be that low. We're looking at low 40s for Eugene as well as Roseburg, upper 40s for Coos Bay. A few more showers, but these will pick up again in coverage and intensity tomorrow morning, later in the morning and through the afternoon and evening. Low 50s, so going to be very similar to what we felt today. Now, that total lunar eclipse, this is going to occur on Sunday evening. 8:40 is when that total phase starts. It ends at 9:40. Right now, we still have a little bit of rain and clouds in the forecast. We're hoping that that front moves through quickly enough on Sunday that we could get a little bit of a break in the clouds and rain, and you'll be able to see that total lunar eclipse, because our next one is not until 2021. Eugene and Springfield, the rest of your 7-day forecast, we are looking at more scattered showers through the rest of the weekend. Things should taper off Sunday night, and also for the start of next week, maybe a few lingering but isolated light showers for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and then we're going to keep in a drier and definitely quieter forecast as we head into next week. The coast, scattered showers, high seas, that's going to start to lower as we head into the end of the weekend with more rain there, and then drier, a little bit cooler heading into next week, and that is the same pattern for Roseburg. So again, we've got another system coming through late Friday, mainly into Saturday, and then an additional cold front on Sunday, so that's why we are still seeing the rain and activity there, and then drier, a little bit cooler, a little bit more sunshine as we head into next week for Roseburg. Now, you can track the latest with your weather, NBC16.com, or type in KMTR NBC16 onto your smartphone and you'll find the app. You can track radar, cloud cover on satellite, all of that, and that will be important to know if you are planning on watching the lunar eclipse.
Oh, yes. And I know it's not the spirit of an Oregonian, but I'll keep my umbrella out.
It's a good idea, too.
All right. Thanks so much, Carmen.
Yes.
Well, coming up on NBC16 at 6:30, we'll check out one Iowa man's matchstick masterpieces. All the details coming up.
NBC 16 News at 6:30.
Matchstick Marvels, known for Pat Acton's incredibly detailed models made of matches. Now the matchstick artist is out with a new one with some really incredible details. Roger Riley checks it out.
For years, Pat Acton has been wowing people at his Matchstick Marvels Museum.
One of the major pieces in the museum here in Gladbrook, and people kind of fall in love with Battleship. The Capitol was I built the Capitol when I was still employed full-time. The shuttle was built the year after the Challenger exploded.
Now Acton has come up with a 2/3 scale model Dodge Charger.
Contracting models with Ripley's, believe it or not, and this was the 1970 Dodge Charger, the fully blown Charger from the Fast and Furious movie.
This model has a detailed engine and dashboard, as well as the undercarriage. Acton used over 20 gallons of glue, and it has around 3/4 matchsticks without the head to start the fire.
Small kids come into the museum, we have to show them what matchsticks are, because they are kind of a thing of the past.
These matchsticks are getting harder to find. Companies are no longer making them.
So I came to an agreement with Diamond Match and bought my final order of 5 million sticks. When those 5 million sticks are done, I'm officially retired.
Over his career, Acton has glued around 7 million matchsticks.
For somebody to take the time to sit down and glue 1 million matchsticks together to look like the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars, there aren't a lot of people that would take the time to do that.
The Dodge Charger will be on display here until June.
Unbelievable. Those are masterpieces. Well, coming up on NBC 16 at 6:30, a small town Iowa Lotto winner was in for a big surprise, and not one that you might expect. Stay tuned. Big check in the hands of a small winner in Iowa. Tyler Heap says he used some spare change last week to buy a couple of scratch-offs in Des Moines. Turns out he wasn't so lucky and only scored a $1 prize. Well, instead of tossing the ticket, the jackpot joker cashed it in at the state's lottery headquarters. When Heap asked for his big check, he was surprised to see what lottery officials had in mind.
They decided to treat me like just $1 million winner. You know, the guy came down the stairs and took me to the back room where the camera was with the Iowa Lottery logo in the background. And sure enough, they wrote me the $1 check and had me hold it up for the camera and took a picture.
So what did he do with all that money? Well, he paid for a gallon of gas. Wow, he got the royal treatment.
Yeah, I didn't realize they would do that for $1, but that's pretty cool. Maybe you have to go to Iowa.
You know, I guess you go to the headquarters and they roll out the red carpet and give you the big check.
Okay, well, nice.
Now we know, Carmen.
I wonder if the check that size cost as much as $1.
I know, true. Well, thanks for joining us for NBC 16 at 6:30. See you tonight for NBC 16 News at 11.